Luminor forms a strong bond with a variety of surfaces. Correct surface preparation is critical for successful application of the Luminor composite metal. The surface must be dry and free of any moisture and oils. The working environment should be above 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Contaminants such as oils and loose surface particles can be removed by sandblasting with a coarse grit sand, as well as wire brushing and sanding. It is important to prepare adequately to allow Luminor to bind evenly to the surface. Since Luminor will adhere to all contours and details of an object, any sharp edges, points, or ridges that might break through the surface coating must be made smooth. These sharp edges must be rounded off to prevent cutting through the coating during subsequent polishing. Luminor is a combination of three components: the metal granule, the polymer resin binder, and an activator, methyl ethyl ketone peroxide. These three parts are combined in a specific weight ratio. Stir the binder upon opening the container and weigh out the desired amount, for example, 200 grams. An accurate gram scale is used to weigh each component before final mixing. Next, determine the correct weight of MEKP activator to be used. The amount of activator needed is 2% of the binder weight. So, for 200 grams of binder, weigh in a separate container 4 grams of MEKP activator. The next step is to measure the desired metal granule. This metal component is mixed in a 3-to-1 ratio of 3 parts metal to 1 part binder. So, for example, 200 grams of binder would require 600 grams of metal granule. Consult the training manual for the correct ratios for stainless steel and iron. To mix the ingredients, pour the binder into the spray gun canister. Then add the pre-weighed portion of metal granule. Stir slowly to make an even mixture free of clumping. Next, add the weighed portion of MEKP activator. Stir well for at least 30 seconds, paying attention to the sides and bottom of the container. This is now the activated form of Luminor and is ready to be applied to a surface. This mixture can be used for up to 30 minutes, after which it will set. Place the activated material in a high-volume, low-pressure spray gun such as AccuSpray. Use an 036 nozzle and a number 8 air cap for optimum results. Connect the gun and check the gun gauge to read between 5 and 7 pounds. The regulator pressure is kept at a constant 100 pounds. Clean the surface of any dust or dirt before spraying. For porous surfaces such as plaster or concrete, it is necessary to seal the surface using the Luminor pre-sealer. When applying the Luminor metal, a proper spray angle is important to assure even coverage of all contours and reveals. For best results, hold the gun nozzle approximately 8 to 10 inches from the surface. Keep the spray at a 90-degree angle to the surface. It is very important to keep the wrist straight. Change the angle of the spray with the elbow, not the wrist. This will ensure adequate and even surface application of the material. Apply a light base coat followed by a full wet coat. On flat areas, especially make sure that the wet front flows evenly and smoothly onto the surface without breaks. The wet front should flow without sagging to make sure of sufficient coverage. Subsequent coats are not needed when these procedures are followed. Apply adequate material to the high points to allow for polishing later. The coated object appears shiny and can be handled in about an hour. Allow the coated piece to dry overnight at 60 degrees Fahrenheit or above before polishing. Luminor can be finished in a variety of ways. It is first necessary to remove the surface oxides formed by the chemical curing process. Scotch-Brite or sandblast the surface lightly with a 240 grit alumina oxide. Apply the sandblaster just enough to remove the surface sheen. This will produce a dull, flat surface appearance and is now ready for polishing. To obtain a satin finish, use fine grit sandpaper, then a Scotch-Brite pad. Make sure to get the pad into any recesses or grooves. Follow with a steel wool pad to bring up the satin sheen. To polish an object to a high polish, coat a muslin cloth open-stitched wheel with white diamond polishing compound. Apply enough compound to turn the wheel white. Polish the piece once to bring up the metal luster. Sufficient pressure is required to bring up the shine, and the object will become warm to the touch. Repeat the polishing process, applying new compound as needed. An even polishing technique should be used, working about a square foot area at a time. A final pass at higher RPM with almost no compound and a lighter surface touch will bring up the best surface shine. To obtain a flat, polished surface, first sand the spray texture almost completely out with a fine grit paper. Then continue with the polishing and finish with a clean, dry cloth. To produce an aged or patina appearance, spray or brush the sandblasted Luminor surface with a patina solution. This procedure will chemically modify the metal surface. When dry, rub the high points and details of the object with Scotch-Brite, followed with steel wool. Then, wheel polish any raised area for a highlighted look.